Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your boy Manny. Today, we are talking about a trip report that happened a little while ago. And just a disclaimer that all these events are purely hypothetical and did not happen. But for the sake of the video, uh, it's funny, so I'm making it. Me and my friends, right? We planned on this. We were like, okay, so we were like, one of the nights we were like taking like psychedelics. We were like, if you guys want to know any more like trip stories, just let me know in the comments. I have like 20 low key. I have a lot of fucking good trip stories. The names are gonna be Daenerys, Tommy, and Gerald. Okay, these are the main three, and then there's two homies that are like side characters. One is John, and one is the homie. Okay, so Tommy and Daenerys, right? They're in the kitchen and they're looking at fucking DMT and like ketamine, and they're like, "Oh, we should get ketamine for our vacation." Like we, like they were like looking like some fiends, right? And I think I was like on half a tab that night, so that might have been like the first time that I was tripping on Sid, or maybe the second time. I don't know. So I go to sit down on the couch, and one of my friends. This is just a different character that's like only good for the context of this story. He's playing fucking Pokemon. And I'm like, whoa, dude, I love Pokemon. It's so cool. And he's like, you see them over there? Did you hear what they said? They're like, because they like was scrolling and they saw DMT, and they're like, no, let's not talk. No, I don't want to get DMT. That's not cool. And they're like, he was like, they're little do they know DMT is the most strongest psychedelic out of all of them. Like they don't know it's the best. And he's saying that because me and him know how strong DMT is because we have taken DMT together, like for the first time. So I was like, I'm tripping, and he starts showing me like fucking Pokemon lore, like showing me like all the things about Pokemon, and like he's showing me the cutscenes and shit and explaining everything to me, and I'm like, bro, this is so amazing. Like this is what tripping is, where it's like everything just fucking comes together, and like everything is amazing. Cause like the homie told me about the DMT, and that was what I was thinking. I was like, yeah, that's why I walked away to come sit next to you, and I knew that you were going to say some trippy ass cool shit, and lo and behold, he did. And he described the entire Pokemon lore and like showing me how like the legendary Pokemon are the chosen ones from the god in the sky or some shit. And then there's a god from the ground, and the god from the ground is trying to destroy everything. And the legendary ones just need to chain the god to save everyone. And I'm like, did they just copy the Bible? Like that sounds like the fucking heroes of Babylon or some shit. I don't even know. Sounds like some triumphant fucking religious text. Whatever. So eventually they come across these pyramid fucking looking golden flaked 300 UG tabs, and like Tommy was like, they're golden flakes. We need to fucking get these ones. They're golden. They have gold flakes in them. So I guess he got them because we're at the Airbnb, and he pulls up and he's like, yo, I got Molly water. He put Molly in his water bottle, and he started drinking it the whole night. And then after, because I don't even fucking know. He was like peaking, but like having like, he was like orgasming in the corner, like brain orgasming and shit, like fucking looking like a little fucking gremlin. And I swear by this, every single time that I'm tripping balls, I always look at him and see him in a blanket and shit. And I'm like, you look like a little goblin. You look like a DMT goblin, bro. Like you're geeked, bro. I can even tell when I'm sober and when I'm fucked up. I know how geeked you are. So he comes down, right? Like I remember one time we were like, "Yo, let's poke him," and he was like he was like straight face, closing his eyes, listening to music, and then like we poked him, and he was like he like leave me alone. He was not answering to any fucking anything that we were saying. He was locked the fuck in. So that's what Molly is like, I guess. We went inside, right? And eventually he came down and he was like, yo, since I'm off the Molly, I'll only take 150 UGs. You guys take 300. You guys take the full tab. And me and Daenerys look at each other, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to trip balls, because last night we played vodka pong, and don't play vodka pong. It's a very bad idea. But we played vodka pong, and it was just after we cleaned up everything, it felt like a wasteland. So I was just like, if this is what it's like to die physically, I don't know. I don't know if I want to like metaphysically die and be reborn again. You know, like I don't want to have an ego death right after just experiencing physical death from alcohol poisoning. So I was like, I'm not sure. And then the homie was like, Daenerys was like, oh, if he's not gonna do it, I'm not gonna do it. And I was like, you know what? I'll take the tab. Let's take the tabs. So we cheers them and put them fucking down our throats. So that shit dissolved quicker, like than I thought. And I was like, damn. I know for a fact gel tabs are gonna be way different than paper tabs. And boy, was I right. Fuck, they're like edibles, but like if you've never smoked and then taken the edible and then smoked dabs, you will never know the trifecta effect of the difference of the high. So when you take gel tabs and paper tabs, it's you don't even need a trifecta. It's just done one and done. So it's just like, oh, one will fuck you up, one will send you to the astral plane. One is recreational, one is fucking from out of this world. I'm talking about the gel tabs. Gel tabs will blow your mind in the most amazing way. Like it's like you take an entire shroom bar and you ate that entire thing filled with chocolate, and like the chocolate and like the psilocybin combines, and you just have Alice in Wonderland amazing feelings. So I already knew what kind of a trip this was going to be because I felt myself slowly locking in until I eventually couldn't lock in anymore, and I just like experienced everything. I just saw everything. I was just like, because we were in the basement, right? And like we were trying to preoccupy ourselves, like trying to like wait for the come up. And the thing about that is that you don't wait for the come up. The come up is the come up. So it's like, what are you waiting for? I didn't understand why they were like waiting for it to kick in. There's no kick in for LSD, especially with gel tabs. It just fucking happens. It just fucking rises from your gut and then into your brain and then outwards into the world. It's just, there's no way to describe the come up, the effects of acid completely, because it's different for everyone. And it's very hard to really remember what the fuck. Because like a lot of times when I'm tripping, I'm like thinking about something and I'll be like, wait, how many times did I think about that? Like thoughts are thrown out of this world. You don't have thoughts anymore. Or at least for me, I just did. I didn't have thoughts. I didn't need it. I didn't have to think. I was just like, God knows my way. My fate is in his hands. So yeah, like when you're coming up, like when you think about your consciousness, or like, oh, am I high yet, or something, it's every now and then it will just speak to you and say, yes, you're fucked. Stop asking. Like, don't even try. You're going to get fucked up. So I never understood why they would be like, oh, like I'm not getting high. Like you're gonna get high. Don't fucking worry. You're gonna peak on these tabs, especially because they're 300. Since Tommy was the guy who supplied us and shit, he was like, he only took half a tab and he was already like coming down from the Molly. So he was like, let's go to Wawa. I have the munchies. So I was like, we need someone to babysit us, right? Like we need someone to like make sure, like drive us there, because we're already fucked up. Like no way we're going. And like we were talking about it so much, and then like it was just because fucking I wrote insert gay name here. Gerald. Just because Gerald didn't want to fucking go, because he didn't like if anything, he could have just tried to trips at us or something, but he didn't want to have anything to do with it. I don't know why the fuck he was even there. And he was just like, I don't know. And then eventually, Daenerys, the homie, he was just like, you know what? I don't want to go anymore. And then when he said that, that's when Tommy was like, what? You don't want to go? Like, what? Like, what'd you say? And then, so I was just like, okay, what the fuck is happening? Why do I feel like the state of sanity right now is spiraling because we don't know what we want to fucking do? I was like, okay, you want to go to Wawa? Yes, I want to go to Wawa. I was like, do you want to trips at us? And he was like, Sure, I'll make sure that you guys go, but I'm not fucking driving. What do you mean you're not driving? That was the whole point. That's why I'm asking, because we're on. Okay. So Tommy was like, you know what? I'll drive my car. So I just wanted to go for the ride because I knew I was coming up and I was just having the greatest fucking time. So they were like, so we walked into the Wawa and Tommy was like, not figuring out how to fucking do the kiosk. And I was trying to explain to him how to use the kiosk because I worked at Wawa before. And he was just like, oh, okay, I'll just do it later then. Because he had already paid. So there's no point in using his phone or anything. And I was just like, I caught a glimpse in his everyday life now from that conversation. I was just like, this is not the first time that he's tripped balls and then just went to the fucking store, drove there while fucking tripping just because he had the munchies. But yeah, I just felt like really fucked up at that point. I was just like, damn, I don't even know what the fuck to do. I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy all the fucking lights and colors of Wawa in the middle of the fucking Poconos in the middle of nowhere. And like, it was like 12 in the fucking morning and shit. And I'm like sitting in the fucking corner. I feel like Mordecai in the AM and the PM video. And like right next to me is fucking Benson. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. If anything, I'm Benson and he's Mordecai. Actually, that's the real fucking video. So eventually we go down the fucking pitch black windy roads with no lampposts and shit, with two geek motherfuckers in the front seat and one paranoid motherfucker who doesn't even smoke weed in the back seat. So he wouldn't stop complaining that like we were all over the place and shit. And I'm like, bro, you sound like an anxious mother. You sound like my mom. Like, shut the fuck up. And so I embarrassed him, right? And I felt a little bit bad. Like, I was like, maybe I went a little too far. But like, you know, just, we're already in the car, motherfucker. We're already coming back from Wawa. Like, if we die, we die. What the fuck? What's the point? Like, why complain? Why ruin the vibes? Especially if one of us is tripping balls and the other one is coming down from two different psychs. I was just like, shut the fuck up. Why are you being a bitch? So I definitely embarrassed him. And the one turn that is literally impossible to miss, because it's right in front of the fucking lit up Dollar Tree, the one road that we always go down to get back to the Airbnb, somehow Tommy fucking missed it. And I was like, bro, I know I just yelled at the homie right there, like right in the back and just now, like, but how the fuck did you not see that? Like, I just offended you and you did that. You pulled off that shit. Like, I know it's dark, but what the fuck? Come on. And he's like, oh, my bad. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm definitely starting to peak now. Like, this is just too much. So we get back to the house, safe and sound. And when we walk in, I see Daenerys also peaking. And he's like, I know you're feeling what I'm feeling. And I was like, yup. And he goes, I can only imagine what you've been going through because I just went through a lot right now. And I was like, yup. Daenerys, so me and Daenerys are sharing this room. It's the master bedroom. And so, no gay shit. So I'm playing on his PlayStation. And he just like bestows me his controller. And he's like, you want to play a racing game? I was like, yes. So he puts on this drifting game. And I immediately he left the room and I just locked the fuck in. I like learned all the fucking controls in like 10 minutes or less. And I just fucking did everything. I was racing. I was fucking spinning and I spent all my time fucking spinning. And I just like didn't know what else to fucking do. I was like, damn, I'm so fucked up. I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. I'm just going to keep spinning. And like, there was like fucking 20 people in the fucking circle. And I was like, dude, this is just like real life. We made our own fucking car meet. We made our own fucking pit. What the fuck? I was like, I was amazed, and I was just like, all right, this is too much. So I got bored, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go on my phone. I'm gonna watch The Sopranos or some shit. So I'm sitting at the edge of the bed, and then he comes back, and he's like, oh, what happened? You got stuck? And I was like, no, bro, I just got bored, and I was just like, and he just walked out, and I was just like, bro, how does he probably thinks that I was too fucked up to even play. But no, I was so fucked up that I was playing perfectly. So he went to socialize with the boys outside or not outside in the fucking living room playing fucking baseball or some shit on their PlayStation. And so they all walked in and started making jokes about how me and the homie are gonna sleep together tonight in the same bed. And so I was like, all right, whatever. Like they're just gonna talk about some bullshit that my ego is so inflated now that I don't even give a fuck about what they have to say. So I'm looking at the fucking game and I'm just like, wow, this is an amazing game. I see like Daenerys is at the edge of the bed and he's like fucking playing GTA and shit. And then all of a sudden I hear like I hear Gerald talk about fucking an ugly bitch or something. That's what I heard. So I lock into their conversation and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And then Tommy goes, bro, mind you, he's got 150 UGs and he's off Molly. And he goes, bro, just put a bag over her head. And I was like, that's fucking comedy gold. The fact that Gerald is talking about how he doesn't want to fuck a girl. So boom. And then Tommy goes, just put a bag over her head. Double boom. Like this is not the first time. Again, this is another glimpse into his life where he's probably fucked a bit or he thought about fucking a bitch with a bag over her head. Like he said it so seriously. The tone of the room was so like rock solid serious. I was just like, what? How is this not a part of the joke? How is this not funny? The whole master bedroom shit, the gay shit. Yeah, that's funny, I guess. But like, what the fuck? You're gonna fuck her with a bag? Anyway. Eventually they went to bed. It was just too much. So they went to bed eventually. I don't even know. I wasn't paying attention. I was just thinking. And I was just like, I'm going to play games or some shit. I'm going to like try and watch The Sopranos and listen to music. And I was thinking like, oh yeah, like maybe that's what Daenerys is doing too. So I lock into what Daenerys is doing and I'm like, how many times has he gotten up out of bed to do something and then come back? And like, I don't even know the time separation between when he got out of bed and when he left. So I'm like, oh shit, maybe he's like stuck in a loop or some shit. Maybe he's stressed out. Maybe he's having a bad trip. So I'm like, immediately like I start getting up and I was like, wait, this is a bad action. Like just me getting up, I felt like I was like starting to panic too because I had to lock in for him. And I was like, nah, I don't need to do that. I'm gonna kill the vibe. Like I'm just gonna chill. I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy the psychedelic images and shit every single time I close my eyes and shit. Because I don't really get visuals when, I mean, I do on paper tabs, but like on the gel tabs, I was so fucked that like the visuals were just feelings, and eventually the feelings became my visuals. So I was like looking at like the master bedroom that we were in, and the homie was like, "Yo, we got the best room," and like him talking about how he got the best room was so much for me that I was like, yeah, you're right. Like, we do got the best room. And I was just like, you know what? That's it. That's all I got to say. Eventually, he went to sleep, and I'm, like, looking around, and I'm, like, touching the curtains and shit. I'm looking at how fucking the LEDs are bouncing off the fucking lights of the curtains. I'm like, holy shit. This is the best room. Oh, my God. We're fucking geniuses. I just felt like I saw, like streams of light just, like, fucking bouncing off each other. Like, have you ever seen like the opening to like Oppenheimer when he's fucking like when he's like trying to go to sleep and he's having that nightmare and it's like those fucking like electrons bouncing and connecting off each other and like except think about that all around the room and they're all free to roam around like fucking like it would look like I saw string theory and all the strings were so fucking colorful and they were like spiraling. I felt like I saw like the fucking Spider-Verse in the fucking room that I was sleeping in. Or at least trying to sleep in. Eventually, I think I did fall asleep or something. Like, I would just, like, close my eyes and just see the most amazing visuals. And I was just like, you know what? This is where I'm supposed to be. Like, I don't need to do anything. Because, like, the homie was like, oh, I keep coming back in here. I'm just, like, thinking, like, when does it end? And I was like, huh. Okay, now I caught a glimpse on what kind of trip you're having. Damn. But I was just thinking, I was like, maybe that's just it. Trying to tell you that we don't gotta do anything. We could just rest. And he's like, huh. Yeah, you're right. And I think that eventually did help him because he did go to sleep after that. But like, I was just like, wait. Like that is kind of like I kind of understand that. Like, oh yeah, like it feels like a scary trip, I guess. Like it's just a lot. But like you don't know if you enjoy it or not. And I was just like, nah, if you just let it be, it's pretty cool. So that's like my advice if you're ever going through a bad trip or think you're gonna have a bad trip, just let it be like the Beatles. Just be like, go with the wave because it's just a drug. It's gonna go away soon. So it's just like, you know what? Conquer that fear, because when you conquer the fear, that's when you feel the strongest. Especially when you're on LSD, you feel like fucking. You feel like reborn. You feel Jesus. You feel Jesus touching you. He's healing you with his hands. Anyway, so yeah, every single time I would close my eyes, that's when I would see visuals and shit, like mostly, and I would just see like fucking the zooming in and out, fucking morphing psychedelic images of life and the universe, and just I was just saw like the world expanding and exploding, and like the universe fucking being born and shit. I was just like, wow. I don't even know how to fucking describe it. They were the most intensive visuals of my life. So eventually I got up from like trying to sleep, and I was like, oh, so where's the homie? So I'll go and see the homie. He's not in the bed. He's out just like sitting. The sun started to rise, and he's just sitting there staring at the sunrise. Like fucking, he's just like he looked like he had a 1,000-yard stare. He was just like sitting on the fucking edge of the sofa, like, where everyone else is sleeping, and he's just like in the middle of it, like like we're like we just survived like a nuclear holocaust or some shit, and like we're the only survivors. I'm like, you want to talk? He's like, okay. He's like, you want to roll a blunt outside? I was like, okay. So we go outside, we roll a blunt, and the thing is that he was like, I can't roll a blunt right now. Can you roll a blunt? And I'm like, bro, of all the times I can roll a blunt right now, I'm perfectly fucked up. Let's do it. I've never rolled a blunt before, but this is the only time that I'll ever be able to. So I'm like, hand me that shit. And then whoop, 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 boom. I had the best Canagar in the world. I was like, oh my God, how did I do this? This one is John. So John comes out and he's like, yeah, what are you guys doing up? And we're like, oh, you can't sleep on acid. He's like, oh, right. Yeah, I see. So he was like, we were like, do you want a hit of this blunt? He's like, sure. And then I was like, yo, my pod juice is low. Can you fill it? He was like, sure. And I was like, bro, this is the best part of the trip. It's just like talking and hanging out with the friends. And then all of a sudden an idea popped in my head, and I was like, holy fucking shit. I need to go into the jacuzzi at least once. I need to, especially now that I'm on my come down, I need to try with the blunt and with the pod. I need to have the best night of my life in the jacuzzi. And so the homie John was like, yo, say less. I got you. Like, I will set it up for you. I will explain this alien technology for you, and I will fucking give you that pod juice. And I was like, oh my God. I can't thank him enough, because I don't think I would ever, if my state of being, I don't think I think I would have spent the entire morning trying to figure out that jacuzzi, and I would have been very disappointed too, and I had a shitty fucking trip if I was chiefing off some expired nicotine juice because I got it from a fucking bum ass store. And I completely forgot what he told to me, and I don't know what the jacuzzi, it was fucking like, I was like, holy shit, I'm fucked. Like, this is where I die. I don't know how to fucking use this shit. I was so fucking retarded. I was like, you know what? I better fucking get out, because I don't know how long I've been in here for. I was just so fucked up. I got out, and I was like, I felt like I was in this room of mirrors. I was in this jacuzzi for like God knows how long, and I was just like, I'm fucking reborn. I'm reincarnated. I feel like Jesus H. Christ. And like, I was looking at myself in all the fucking mirrors, and like, I was just like, damn, like, this is probably the best trip ever. Like, wow. And I was like taking videos and shit. I was like hitting Nick with like bubbles everywhere. I felt like my life was a movie. I was like hitting the backwood and shit. And so when I got out, I wanted to wash my clothes, right? And I assumed that the dryer would be next to the washer, and the washer would be right in front of the bathroom. Well, that's not the case. They ended up being reversed. And so I put my clothes in the dryer, and there was vomit in the dryer from the night before when we had drinking and played vodka pong, and it didn't end well. So I go around looking for John, and he's not there because he went to smoke his morning blunt. And so I'm looking around, and then I find the homie who's not in his room. He's fucking hiding behind like the fucking wall and like trying to like jump out at me like a fucking toddler. I was like, I'm not humoring this bitch. Like, I'm so fucking tired. I want to go to bed now. I'm finally coming down off the SID. So I tell him, I'm like, yo, we were off acid. He's like, you were off acid? And I was like, yes. He's like, why are you up? I'm like, because you can't sleep on acid. And he was like, do you still get visuals? And I was like, wait, yes, I sometimes still do. And I was like, I don't know why. I was like, oh my God, I'm still fucking tripping. Like I locked into my spiritual self, and I thought he was asking like my spiritual body if I still get visuals after all this time of living for eternity. And I was just like, I logged back in, and I was like, well, no, not really. Just like when I close my eyes, that's when I get visuals. He's like, oh, okay. And I was like, all right, whatever. I'm tired. Can you just check on my clothes and make sure that they're washed so that I could go to bed? He's like, yeah. I was like, all right, good morning or good night, whatever. So I went to sleep, and I wake up to that same homie waking me up with C418 blasting on the fucking master bedroom TV. And he's like giggling and shit. I'm like, can you get this gay shit off? I'm trying to fucking sleep. Did you not listen to anything I just said? You fucking queer. And I fucking kicked him out. And so I was like, man, I went too far again. Damn. But like, still, why the fuck are you waking me up after I just told you that I was tired? I eventually went back to sleep. And when I woke up, they were gone. And it was just me and Denarius in the house. And I'm looking for my clothes, and I find them still dirty, now like smelling like shit in my luggage. I'm like, what the fuck? Eventually they come back, and I'm like, bro. And they're like, yo, you should never do laundry ever again. I was like, bro, can you cut me some fucking slack? I was fucked up out of my mind. Were you? Like, well, we had to clean up the dirt, the smell of the dryer. I was like, okay, but well, then why did you put my dirty clothes in my luggage? So now the rest of the clothes are dirty. So whatever. I was like, you know what? I'm going home soon. I need to see my parents. This is like a fucked up trip. This is crazy. I was like, I cleaned up all my laundry. I cleaned up everything, and I was just like, all right, bye guys. And yeah, that was the end of the trip. Thank you guys for watching. And if you guys enjoyed this video, let me know. Any story that you guys want, just even if it comes out of your ass, I'll probably make a video out of it. See you guys next time. Bye.